Hello there, this is Core and we're back again for yet another review. This time covering Resistance, Fall of Man. But as usual, first up is a shout out to Kato Phoenix for yet another killer piece of artwork. Give her Twitter some love and let's jump right into the trenches. Developed by Insomniac Games, also known for their prestigious work on Ratchet & Clank, Resistance is an alternate history science fiction first-person shooter that takes place just after World War II, and the game was released in 2006. The game takes a large amount of inspiration from classic shooters such as Doom and Quake. Now let's learn a little bit of story. You are U.S. Army Sergeant Nathan Hale, sent in as one of the many U.S. troops and supplies sent to aid the Brits. In exchange for their secret weapon to help end the war against the deadly Chimera, as the U.S. forces are wiped out, you are the last survivor, and Britain's only chance to survive against the threat. The game takes many nods from the classic shooters of the day, like Doom and Quake. Several of these influences include the ability to hold every single gun at once, movement not affecting weapon accuracy, and older tactics like circle strafing work just fine in this game. The game also rewards a very thorough exploration of the environment. They hide ammo, weapons, and intel, which is the lore of the game, all throughout the place. There's also many different unique weapons, a blend of realistic and science fiction. And each weapon also features 2 fire modes, which helps bring even more variety to the gunplay. There is a total of 19 weapons in this game, including the 4 different types of grenades. And the gameplay overall plays smooth and clean. The enemies are resilient, they can be kinda tanky at times. They will eat multiple headshots from an assault rifle and still keep coming. There's also vehicle segments which are very fun. I love getting a hold of a tank or a car and just running over enemies and blowing them up. Overall, it's a very good effort. And there's also a split screen co-op for if you like to bring a friend along. And the game also does have multiplayer, but the online servers were shut down in 2014. So all you're going to be able to do is some local split screen. But now let's jump into the controls, shall we? Overall, the controls are very good, play fast, and play smooth. They feel intuitive and are very easy to jump into. If you played a shooter, you'll probably feel right at home. And I find this benefits the fast gameplay very well. Because if your controls are shit, what good is having fast gameplay if you can't handle yourself in it? Now let's move on. Within Resistance, there is a large amount of diverse enemies, but they still maintain a similar theming, with all of them having shared common elements, such as fangs, multiple eyes, and being a blend of machine and monster. These are disgusting hybrids born from human and alien DNA. They make for a very challenging fight, especially when they mix in waves of different types at once. The lore behind the enemies is also very interesting. Makes me want to seek out as much intel as I can. They also really fit nicely into the atmosphere we're about to discuss. Honestly, I enjoy the atmosphere in this game. It really gets me in the mood. Set in England post-World War II, Russia has been wiped out by the Chimerans, and the Brits are desperate, with destruction all around, juxtaposed by the very alien machinery, makes for a very stark contrast. The tension is thick, and the game also knows how to let off tension at various moments, with some very well-placed humor. Overall, I find the atmosphere makes for a very interesting setting, and makes me want to keep playing. I find the music to be very fitting, very good at keeping the mood of the level up. The conversion facility theme, for example, is extremely creepy, and you can hear the enemies just making their weird fucking moans and groans while the haunting music it plays in the background. And to contrast this, the opening level is action-packed and pumping.
Sir, your squad! Go now! You're with me, let's go!
Honestly, it's a great blend of action and horror within the soundtrack and the environment. Much like how Fear blended these elements together very well. It's a great listen throughout the game. The sounds are also quality. The guns sounded right, they sound chunky and meaty like you'd want a gun. And explosions ring out around you, death is screaming from all sides, each fight is hectic and sounds just right for warfare. Honestly, for a 2006 launch title on the PS3, the game looks pretty damn good. And that's saying something because the PS3 was known for, at least in the beginning, being very difficult to code and program for. A lot of people didn't know how to use the dev kits properly, and that's why a lot of early PS3 titles don't hold up that well. So, the textures look good, the models are nice, character models on both sides of the conflict are pretty cool and interesting to look at, and there's a lot of detail in them. Like, you could just see how much equipment a guy's got, the look on his face before he died. And the game ran smoothly. I did not notice a single hiccup or issue. Now let's cover the downsides. So, why wouldn't you want to play Resistance? Well, if you don't like old school shooters, like if you can't get into games like Doom, Quake, Duke Nukem, Half-Life, you're not gonna like it here. Especially in terms of challenge. The enemies play tough. They'll frag your ass. They'll rush you down. If you let them, they will fuck your day up. The only other issue is the fact that multiplayer is shut down permanently. Though it was live for 8 years. Now let's wrap this up. Here we go, wrapping up yet another review. So honestly, this was an excellent experience overall. Definitely deserved all the praise it got at the time. For me, it was one of those games I just couldn't put down while I was recording. I'd just keep going, alright, one more level, then BAM! 4 hours rolled by, I'm like, well shit, where did the time go? Honestly, if you like classic FPS style games, then you're doing yourself a disservice not at least trying it. Insomniac did an excellent job. The only negatives I could really say I experienced is the fact that the multiplayer doesn't exist anymore, outside his local split screen. I played the multiplayer back in the day, and the 40-man death matches were freaking dope. So if you're interested, give this game a play, and I want to say, if you like the review, please support the content with a like or a comment about the game and or review. If you'd like to keep up with the content, check out our social media linked below. And don't forget our Discord as well if you want to chat with the community or get a heads up when I go live. One last mention as I have to say, don't forget to check out Kato's other work linked down below. This has been Core, and I'm signing off. Have a good one, everyone.